Top of the day to you, whatever time it is. Welcome in. It is time for Three Guys Before the Game. This is episode number 617. It is our Baylor recap, our Cincinnati preview. Don't look now, but the end of the regular season is coming on like a fast train. I mean like a fast train. Before you say no foul call, season's going to be over. It's going to be that fast.
Or foul called on West Virginia.
Yeah, could be. Three Guys Before the Game with Hoppy Kirchhoff in the middle is brought to us by Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. They won't take no for an answer. They will not take no for an answer. Would you say? No. No. Comex Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By GoMart. Get a GoMart rewards card and begin saving on food, fuel, and everything else inside of a GoMart. Go to GoMart.com for details. Go to the GoMart app location. Download the app. You be in business. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the Three Guys way with a Tudor's biscuit. That would also be the homemade way. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. Spreads on Stats coming up in just a little bit. And the Senator, he got some numbers that probably aren't going to make you feel any better than you already don't feel. Is that fair to say?
Fair.
Hey, man, we report, you decide. Well, it's good to have everyone in session here. Good to have the Dean with us as well from Kirchhoff Studio. Saw the Dean, didn't we? On,
we did. That was a bonus.
On Saturday. That was an all-time classic. My man has not been to a West Virginia home game in over a decade, but now he has seen them on the road.
Yeah, it was great to see him in the building there in Waco.
It was fantastic, Hoppy. Did you had a good time?
I thought it was a fantastic environment. That Foster Pavilion, that new facility there is amazing. I mean, every time you build something new like that, you invest the money, they figure things out, they get better and better, and that's an outstanding facility. And a couple points about that, which don't make you feel any better, but that there is always the most extreme level of noise in there, even if it's not the students or the fans. So it creates the impression that it's just constantly bouncing, right?
Yeah.
Even if the fans aren't, because they have tremendously loud music and effects at any dead time. So it's just it's
a din of sound. It's a din of sound, nonstop sound.
Nonstop sound, which wears on me, but I know it plays for others. The folks there, the security and the ushers, fantastic people, really nice. Couldn't have been nicer. Like, welcome.
Real quick,
welcome,
Tony, Hoppy got a personal welcome and a personal rundown of anything you may need. I mean, it's like a concierge service when Kirchhoff walked in.
It did,
The guy
yes.
literally went up into his seat and talked to him.
Yes.
Ritz-Carlton-esque type service.
Did a nice job.
Yeah.
So that was very nice. So that part was enjoyable.
Sure.
I just think they got it going there. Now, I'll get to the game if you want to get to observations, or I can wait. Whatever you want to do.
Go ahead
there.
and keep going. You're rolling.
I mean, you're on an HOO. Hoppy's Obvious Observations brought to us by no one.
Yeah, no sponsor for that. Fantastic game to be there and watch and experience or listen to on the radio. I mean, 10 lead changes, 11 ties, overtime, fantastic effort by both teams, first of all. Second of all, if you said going into the game, you'll hold Baylor to 39% shooting and 23% from three-point. You go, okay, yeah, take that, which is what West Virginia did. But West Virginia didn't shoot great, 40% and 26% from three-point. I know, Brad, you'll get into some of those things. O'Meara was tough down in the paint, had a double-double, 17 and 10. O'Connor was good for West Virginia, 19 and 7. Of course, I know you guys are going to talk about free throws, which you should. And the stat that always stands out is when the other team makes more free throws than you attempt. And in this case, 10 more free throws. They made 10 more free throws than you attempted and shot 84% from the free throw line. Normally they shoot 75%. and you don't get to the line and don't shoot real well, 65%, normally you shoot 73%. So I think that was the biggest story of the game. Finally, my final obvious observation
This is good.
is that I don't know when I have been higher on a team that's lost 6 of 8. This team gives you supreme effort, plays hard, digs down, fights every possession, and battles. They just come up a little short for a variety of reasons. And we've talked about this almost all for the last month. There's just always, you're just a little bit short. You got some pieces missing, but man, they give you supreme effort. It's enjoyable basketball. And I'm very up on a team that's lost 6 of 8.
That's a good last point. Way to say that.
Excellent point.
Yeah,
that's an excellent point.
Agree.
This late in the season, you do have an opinion of your team, and despite the fact that this team, as you said, now it's up to 6 out of their last 8. I don't know about. I can't speak for the masses. I still really like this team. This is one of my more favorite teams than I've ever been involved with. Now, that might sound like weird as heck. Like, what are you talking about? No, this is one of my favorite teams because I love blue-collar toughness. I love you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing, and they've been doing it from the opening tip of the season.
Also impressed with demeanor, Tony. This is a bunch of good guys. They are easy and fun to be around. There's no pouting or moping after games. And listen, these last 2 have been really difficult. Those are NCAA tournament type games where every possession matters, high level basketball both ways. Unfortunately, West Virginia's needed about 1 play more in each of the 2 games, and we're sitting here, guys, high stepping over that. I mean, think about that. That's why, Hop, I think your point's really well taken, and I agree with that, and it's why I'm not down on this team, because you're literally 2 plays away over the last 2 games from staring at 8 conference wins, a win in an unbelievably difficult place to play at Baylor, as you just mentioned. So this team's still battling, and what it needs is, what it wants is still in front of it in terms of an NCAA tournament bid. I know we're getting down to the brass tacks here. You've got to get some wins. I get it. But this last week, this has been a tough week because you were right there in 2 really difficult games, one on a tough spot on the road, and you didn't get the 1 play you needed to just get you over the hump.
Well, and what normally this time of year, if you lose 6 of 8, you're going, okay, they're in the tank. It's over. Mm-hmm. You're limping to the end. And in no way do you feel like that. It's the antithesis of that. And there's still a lot of joy left in this team and a lot of joy left in watching and listening, watching this basketball team.
Yeah.
This real quick, this isn't Spreads on Stats, because believe me, you're going to need to buckle in for Spreads on Stats. I'm going to give you a ton of numbers, but here's one.
What do you mean you got to buckle in?
I just got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of numbers coming out of this game, so just settle in here. It's not coming yet. But here's one, Hoppy, to your point, when we talk about NCAA tournament, we're going to keep talking about this until you've exhausted all options to get into this. But we'll go to our friends at bracketmatrix.com, and West Virginia moved 1/10 of a point down after that loss to Baylor. That tells you how insignificant it was in terms of the grand scheme of things. You're still holding in, now a 10 seed, but you're a 9.68 average on all of these brackets. Of the 80-some brackets they have, none of them have you out of the tournament field. One has you as low as a 12, and a bunch have you at 9. So still in front of you. Your margin for error continues to get thinner. You've got to get going with some wins, but you're still alive at this point as we sit here today on Monday, Feb 17.
All right, Spreads on Stats coming up in just a little bit, but this reminder that 3 Guys Before the Game is brought to us by fantastic folks at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Now, you might think, after a rather cold, wintry weekend, the last thing you're thinking about is boating. That's not the case. You know why?
The first thing I'm thinking about is boating.
Yeah, you know why? Because I just looked at the old sundial. The sunset is like getting close to like 6 o'clock now, which means we've got forward momentum, which means it's only a matter of time before you start seeing people out on water in those G3 John boats that they sell. I mean, they're absolutely classic craft for fishermen. Whatever you like to do on the water, those are really super neat. It's a G3 John boats. They're available at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. And if you want something more recreational...
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
We determined a year or so ago, you can hunt off that if you wanted.
Oh, sure you could. There's no question.
So you can fish, but you can also hunt. Like there's woods behind that guy right there. Like he can turn and hunt there if he wants.
You could absolutely do that, or just go across water to then walk on to do some hunting, or you could just bring a spear with you and just start spearing stuff.
Oh, you just sit right there and let it go.
Yeah, and then if you're looking for something more recreational, they just happen to be the largest and single biggest pontoon boat dealer in the state of West Virginia. They've been doing that for half a century. So if it's a pontoon you might be looking for, visit LouWendellMarineSales.com.
Look at that recliner seat right in the front. Hoppy, not long, and I'm going to be sitting right in one of those recliner things, just chilling.
I know you will. Absolutely.
Got a call, by the way, yesterday from a listener. Got a rare Sunday call from a listener in Texas. He says, I keep hearing you guys talk about these Tudor's biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any in Texas?
Did you say no, go get a franchise?
I said franchise availability is right there. They do have over 70 locations. We do know that there's one in Florida. Majority of them are here in West Virginia, but there are literally franchise opportunities. If by some chance you've got that entrepreneurial bug, you can get yourself a Tudor's biscuit franchise, and if you're doing it around here, your brand equity is already built in. You're top of mind. They know. You got to start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's biscuit, and right now if you do walk in, you got yourself a little deal as well. You buy one of these 4 bad boys, either the Dottie, the sausage, if you get a hash brown, or the Peppy, and you get the second one for just 4 quarters or $1 at Tudor's Biscuit World.
I could eat one right now. Hoppy, no surprise. I'm hungry. I could eat that.
Your food management continues to be poor. Get a franchise in Texas. Give Buc-ee's a run for their money.
Yeah. By the way, how was your food in Waco? Did you eat anything there?
Waco is a pretty cool town.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Waco, and you know what another thing they do, prisoner of the moment guy, is they have all this free parking around the arena.
Church rules into free parking.
Well, he's a big parking guy. He's still killing the Commander Stadium there for that debacle when West
Oh
Virginia
my
played
gosh!
football.
Don't get me started.
Rightfully so.
I mean, he got like 9 shows out of that that debacle. If he was still on the air, had he not retired, he'd get 3 out of the free parking in Waco.
He would have a look back at the Commander's parking situation. He would have had a retrospective. All right. You ready to do this?
Yeah, well, let's go.
Okay, let's just do this.
We got time.
All right, here we go.
We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes a heater.
Might as well. Let's jump into the Senator is predicting he's got numbers that are going to make your head hurt even more based on what happened this weekend. Spreads on Stats brought to us by Conley CPA Group. Value beyond numbers, complete service, public accounting, and consultation serving clients in all 55 West Virginia counties, surrounding states. 40-year anniversary going on right now. They're local people. They've been in business for a long time because they're successful at what they do. If you need help, outsourcing, accounting, CFO services, they got you. It's Conley CPA Group. Were you surprised when you started doing the download?
No, because what I kept hearing in my head is you during the broadcast saying, this is going to be one of those we talk about. You're going to look back at the numbers and it's going to make you more mad than you are right now. Heard it like a soundtrack as I was putting all this together. Accurate statement by you. Here we go. We're going to save free throws for just a second because that might be a whole separate podcast in and of itself. Let's just talk about something kind of where Hoppy was going here. When you talk about this team and what a joy it is to watch and how well prepared it is. And I'm going to give you a story on that really illustrates and encapsulates this whole season. Since June, Hoppy, we've been talking about, listen, this team is going to go in there as prepared as any in America. You might miss some shots. You might not get the calls. It might cost you some games, but there will not be a team as prepared as this team. I'm going to give you one story that came out this weekend that illustrated that to a T. We'll get to that. But first, let's look at what the game plan was and how West Virginia did in this game. First and foremost, and I apologize for anybody listening on 1.5. You might want to dial back to 1 for just a second because I'm a hard listen on 1.5 anyway, and I'm going to start rolling. So here we go. First and foremost, make them guard. This is on the offensive end, Hop. The idea was to make them guard, and ultimately they'd give you open shots. That they wouldn't want to guard you for 25 of the 30 seconds of the shot clock. How about this number, guys? 15 unguarded catch and shoots. Ties the most you've had in Big 12 play this season. You had 15 open catch and shoots. You scored 21 points off of those, which is the most you've had in Big 12 play. But it was just your 6th best points per possession on unguarded. So again, you got a lot of them and you scored a lot of points on it, but you probably needed another one. Maybe 2, just a little more efficient, and we're high-stepping with a win today. So close, great game plan, and you almost had the execution. You just needed another 1 or 2.
So in basketball coaching lingo, you could go with the twofold. You could go with got looks, or you could go with got shots.
And go with got to make shots.
Oh, yeah, third one.
Right.
That's an obvious, but you got shots.
All right, number
15 unguarded.
Yeah, 15 unguarded. And it felt
extra pass.
It felt like 80. I mean, West Virginia was carving up that 1-3-1 to the point they had to get out of it in the second half. They did it almost exclusively in the first, had to get out of it in the second half because West Virginia was wearing them out. It was right exactly what you wanted to do offensively from a make them guard. They won't want to guard you the whole time, Hoppy. They did not, and you got the looks. That's one. Number two, you wanted to control the pace of the game. You had to slow their transition because they want to run and dive at the rim, and on your end, you wanted to make them work. Again, make them guard that whole shot clock. Season high in points in the last 4 seconds of the shot clock for West Virginia. 19 points came in the final 4 seconds of the clock. You talk about just saying, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold the ball. You're not going to be able to stop us, and we're going to score as the clock's running out. 19 points in the final 4 seconds. So you talk about how do you beat Baylor? Okay, here's what we need to do. Run clock, we'll get open shots, and we'll use the clock to limit their possessions. My God, you did it perfectly. Perfectly. 19-point season high in last 4 seconds of the clock. By the way, you're 3-2 when you score double figures in the final 4 seconds of the shot clock, which means you controlled the pace. You really should be 4-1, right? That should have been a win on Saturday. That's a real key. West Virginia executed it perfectly. How about defensively? You wanted to defend their dribble drive, then recover to close out on threes. That's a big ask, guys. This is an elite defensive team. It's top 15 in one metric. It's top 12 in another. It is an elite defensive team, West Virginia. But that's a big ask. Stay in front of 5 guys that want to put their head down and drive right at you. But when they do and then kick it, you got to rotate and or get out and close out. How'd you do? Hoppy, you mentioned some of these. You held Baylor to 39% field goal percentage. That's normally a win. Held them to 22% from 3. That's a win. You stopped dribble drive and you contested threes. You did it exactly the way you wanted to do it. You held a potential lottery pick in VJ Edgecombe to 7 points. Took him straight out of the game. Took a lottery pick and said, "I'll tell you what, might be in the NBA next year. Good luck with the Hornets. You're going to sit over there right now and you're not going to be a factor." Was a non-factor. Made a couple big boy plays that you went, that's why the NBA is looking at him. But for the most part, you controlled him. Baylor had 18 catch-and-shoot jumpers on the game. They had 18.
How many of them were uncovered?
Thank you for asking that. 2 were unguarded. 2 open looks for a team that drove to the basket on you a lot. You forced them to shoot from the... I mean, it was just a great defensive game plan and an execution of that game plan by the guys. They did just a tremendous job. Keep them off the offensive glass. That was a top 25 offensive rebounding team, Hoppy. They always are under Scott Drew. It's one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. They get 35% of their offensive rebounds on the season. 35% of the shots that are available for offensive rebounds they get. They got 24% against West Virginia, but it's even better numbers than that. They only had 2 second chance points on the day. 2 second chance points. So you were stopping them and forcing tough shots. And then the second part of that is go get the ball so they can't get a second. 2 second hands. To your point, I got more mad as I kept going down this. You had a perfect plan and you executed it and you couldn't walk out of there with a win. Bummer. All right, another one. West Virginia had an 11-0 run in the game. Per evanmia.com, if you have a 10-0 or better run in a game, you win 81% of the time. Baylor had none. You had it. Should have been a win. Here's the one number I didn't like as West Virginia. Well, the free throws, but I'm getting to that. Here's the other number outside of free throws that I didn't like as we moved throughout the game. Tony, we talked about this. 51% of West Virginia's points came in the paint. We talked on Thursday's episode. This is reverse of what you would think. Normally that's good. Get in close, score easy buckets. We talked on Thursday. This was a number to watch. When West Virginia loses, it scores 48% of its points in the paint. So right on with this number. When it wins, it only gets 35% of its points in the paint, usually driven by made three-pointers. And again, West Virginia was probably just 1 or 2 threes away from this. And one last note. Probably should have been just a tad more than 51% of your points in the paint, except for the giant lake that opened up underneath the basket on the floor.
Oh, man.
That had a Lou Wendell boat sitting in it and prevented Toby Okani from hammering a dunk. I've been doing this a long time. You've been doing it a long time. We're 75 years combined in this. I can't remember a more wide open shot where a guy's foot goes completely out from under him as he's about ready to hammer it. I was incredulous. I don't know how there can be that much moisture right in the one spot he steps on.
Yep.
incredulous. So of the things that you looked and went, oh my, are you kidding me? That's way at the top.
There was so much water there underneath that basket. They brought in a Lou Wendell pontoon to just bring the cleaning crew in to get it off the floor. That's how much water.
One of those G3 boats was right there.
G3 just came right underneath the basket. I've never seen it, but when you think about it, Connie's going to go. I mean, that's how you blow a knee. That's exactly how you blow a knee. You start to go, and it hyperextends, and then you popped yourself.
Yeah.
You're really, really lucky. But it happens. That's where a lot of moisture was. Timeouts happen. Water bottles get used. Water gets on the floor. And
just a crusher, though.
God.
Because Toby was awesome. Toby had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 3 big threes. Should have finished with 21. All right, one last thing on the preparation. Hop, you'll love this story. And then I'm going to get into the free throws, and then we're going to settle in because I'm going to hit you with some numbers. But here's the preparation part. Hop, in the walkthrough in the morning in the hotel ballroom, they went through all their stuff. Went through Baylor stuff. Here's what they're going to do. Went through Baylor's out of bounds, Baylor's side out of bounds. Here's what they're going to do. Went through West Virginia. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how they're going to counter you. Here's how we're going to counter their counter. Then one of the last things, they go through baseline out of bounds plays for West Virginia. Here's what we're going to run. Here's how they're going to defend us. Then Darren went to a side out of bounds. Side out of bounds. Slob, as it's called. Sideline out of bounds, Hop. And Darren says this. Darren says, here, guys, here's what we're going to run through. One more thing. Side out of bounds, 3 seconds or less on the clock. Here's what we're going to run. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what they designed up or what they did it, but then had some real nuance within there. You're going to go here and you've got to do this to draw this, and you're going to go over here and this is what's going to happen. When you go here and you go here, they're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and it's going to be a wide open 3 for Javon Small. I about came out of my seat, didn't I, in the first half there? I interrupt you a lot. I almost just stepped right over you and said, okay, stop, I got this. 3 seconds remaining in the first half, West Virginia side out of bounds. They literally worked on that exact moment in the morning, Hop, and there it was. Not with 5 seconds or with 2 seconds or with 1.5. The exact scenario he said. 3 seconds on the clock, side out of bounds. Here's what we're going to run, and we're going to get an open 3 for Javon. Guess what they got? An open 3 for Javon, and the damn thing went exactly like he said it was going to get. Didn't drop it. Didn't get the shot to fall. But you talk about this group being prepared. That was like a double exclamation point on. You want to cover every situation? We got you.
Yeah.
Runs good stuff.
Yeah.
Runs
great
good
stuff.
stuff.
Runs good stuff.
All right.
Got to make shots.
Yeah, got to make shots.
All right, can I take a drink here before we dive in? Because I'm going to get a little dry mouth on this next part.
Yeah, while you do that, let me just remind our folks that we might have to get, by the time Brad's done talking about the free throw disparity that West Virginia has been enduring, we might have to get Jan Dill's attorneys at law. We might have to file some kind of a motion. Can we do that? I mean, this is what I do know.
Injunction. Get an injunction.
I don't know if Jan handles that, but this is what I do know. One of their areas of specialty is securing military veterans their benefits due from the Department of Veterans Affairs. So a couple of different things. If you are a military vet, someone in your family, someone that you know, and you suffer from PTSD, back pain, hearing loss, or knee injuries, their primary practice is to represent you and get the help and the benefits that you have not only earned, but that you deserve. And they have a crew of folks that are specific to this area. As you might imagine, when it comes to working with the government, you need to know all of the bureaucracy that goes along with it. And they have that experience. Their lawyers are specifically trained in this world, and they've helped hundreds of veterans get access to VA benefits that they deserve. So you don't pay a red cent. They get paid when you win. They get paid when you win. So a couple of things. If you or someone you know needs help dealing with the Department of Veterans Affairs, a military veteran, you can call 1-877-VETERAN. That's 1-877-VETERAN, or visit jandils.com, JANDILS.com. And again, that's not specific to West Virginia. That's literally all over the nation. One of the biggest in the nation dealing specifically with this area, and they've got you covered. All right, make me feel sick with free throws.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk first with free throw attempt rate, which you hear me talk a lot about. That just kind of starts to eliminate a little bit of just those raw numbers of free throw attempts, although I've got some of those too. So free throw attempt rate, your number of free throw attempts divided by your field goal attempts. It tells you where you're getting most of your shots within any given game. Baylor came into this game, Hoppy, bottom 100 teams nationally in free throw attempt rate. They don't get to the line very often. 30% free throw attempt rate. So they don't get the line very often. 59% free throw attempt rate in that game. Almost double what it normally is. For context, 49.7 leads the nation on the season. So well above what the national leader in that category gets. So an unusual day for Baylor at the line. They had a season high in makes. They had their second most free throw attempts in a game and their most in Big 12 play. They only have one game in Big 12 play with more than 24 free throw attempts before the game against West Virginia. It was the second highest free throw attempt rate by a WVU opponent this season. The highest was Colorado at that 62.5. Baylor opponents normally, so you talk about Baylor on the other side of things, Baylor's opponents normally get 35% of their points from the free throw line. West Virginia only got 15% of its points from the line. And West Virginia was about right on average for its three-point attempt rate, so you can't say that West Virginia was just bombing threes away. It was right on their average. Baylor usually gives up 35% of its opponent's points at the line. West Virginia was just 15% of its points. Let's look at some other specific numbers. Baylor, you might say, we talked so much about Baylor wanted to drive to the basket, right? So you look at that and go, okay, maybe there could have been a free throw disparity there because of style of play. They were going to the basket. That's what they want to do. They want to drive to the basket. And they probably got a lot of shots at the rim where fouls normally occur. So that's probably what you're saying right now as you listen, that Baylor, Hoppy, probably went to the basket more often than West Virginia, probably had more shots at the rim, therefore getting more free throws.
That's what you think.
That's what you would think.
That's what you would think. Baylor took 22 shots at the rim or in the paint and shot 32 free throws. West Virginia took 27 shots at the rim or in the paint and had 17 free throws. Baylor had 8 shots at the rim, which is 16% below the national average for shots at the rim, and went to the line 32 times. Here, if you haven't listened to anything else, this is one that'll make you most crazy.
I'm pretty good right now.
Baylor did not make a single field goal in overtime in winning the game. They made 0 field goals in overtime, 0 of 3 from the floor. They scored all 9 of their points from the free throw line. West Virginia was 2 of 9 from the field in overtime. Baylor, 0 of 3. Every point scored came at the line. Opponents of West Virginia over the last 7 games have 2.14 more points at the free throw line. They've doubled up West Virginia at the line. 2.14 more times. I'll get to some other numbers over the last few games. But here's one that really jumps out. West Virginia is just 61% from the free throw line over the last 7 games for what has been a good free throw shooting team. Its opponents, and some of its opponents have been the worst free throw shooting teams in America. Its opponents are 81% from the free throw line over the last 7 games. So not only are they getting there at an exorbitant rate, they're actually making them. So credit to those teams for making them. That's nothing other than guys just making shots. But that's incredible. You're getting a ton and then you're making a ton. Here's one that really jumped to me. Langston Love for Baylor had missed a bunch of games, has coming back from injury. One of their very good players. 6 of his 8 field goal attempts were threes, yet he shot 12 free throws on the day. 6 of his 8 shots were from 3, and he shot 12 free throws. He had only attempted 9 free throws in 9 games coming into this game. He had 0 free throw attempts in 5 of his previous 9 games and goes 12 for 12 against West Virginia. He had a 150% free throw attempt rate. His average on the season was 18%.
Yeah, I think you accomplished what you said you were going to.
I'm not done. Thank you very much. I'm still going. Javon Small, who has played 94% of West Virginia's available minutes in Big 12 play, has the ball in his hands more than any other player on the court, leads West Virginia in 2-point field goal attempts, has only attempted double-digit free throws in 2 Big 12 games, and he hasn't had one of those since January 21st versus Arizona State, nearly a month. He has as many games where he's attempted 0 free throws as he does double-digit free throw attempts.
Yeah.
Couple observations.
Go ahead while I pull up one more number. Go ahead.
Okay. Is that, I mean, all that is extremely relevant and insightful about what happened. Brad, I was sitting next to my wife, and I said, they can't keep making free throws. They're going to miss. They can't keep making free throws. And they kept making free throws. Number one. Number two is, in fairness, there was a disparity in the whistle, clearly. I mean, you've documented that. But also, you need to make a couple more free throws. I mean, you were 11 of 17, so when you do get to the line, you need to make it. And West Virginia was not effective at the free throw line. That's part of this. Fair?
Fair. Absolutely. Off the top of your head, do you know how many front ends we missed?
I didn't do that.
At least 2.
Yeah,
those are absolute killers. You're right. I mean, the free throw discrepancy is what it is, but you're 11 of 17 from the free throw line, and that's 65%. And as you said, we're at 61% here over the last how long?
7 games.
Not good enough.
5 losses. And here's the thing, guys. I will give my standard disclaimer when we talk about this is in one-possession games like this, there are a million things you can find. I said that. Make a couple more threes. Got it. Toby doesn't slip. Makes it. Got it. Make a couple more free throws. Got it. There's always things you can point to yourself, but you can't absolve the whistle either from these things. It is a factor. It is absolutely a factor. Absolutely. If you get 5 more free throw attempts, maybe you only make 2 of those, but maybe that's enough to get you the win. So that's my point on this. And I don't understand when I give you those numbers, it's not just a team in West Virginia that's taking threes and guarding and fouling every possession. We've had teams here at West Virginia that fouled every possession because you can't call everyone. And it was a great formula, and it worked tremendously well. That's not what this team does. The styles have been too similar in too many of these games with the free throw gaps to not be screaming about this. That's why I'm screaming about it. That's why I'm bringing it up. That's why I'm bringing up that this is a disparity. Here's one last number. I'll leave you with this. I gave you the 2.14 more points than West Virginia scored at the line for their opponents. Here's the raw number. In the last 7 games, 5 of which are losses by West Virginia, West Virginia scored 47 points from the free throw line. Its opponents in that time, 101 points scored. You have been outscored 101 to 47 at the free throw line in the last 7 games. For a Javon Small that has the ball the whole time and is getting banged constantly. He is as teams handle him as physically as any player in this league. And he's had as many games with 0 free throw attempts as he has with double digits. That's just not right. It's not right. And here's the problem, Hoppy. It's different guys every game. So it's not one crew that's coming in and making this judgment. But the officiating has been different in these games. It just has. It just has. And I don't know why, and I don't have a good answer. But go back and watch that game. There were some fouls on Baylor going to the basket that seemed very little contact in the grand scheme of how physical that game was. And you go to the other end, and guys are getting clubbed to no call. That's not the way it should be. And there's the numbers.
Tony,
there's the numbers to support that. So you can make the decision. There's some raw numbers, shots in the paint, shots at the rim. That there's all the numbers for you.
Yeah, and one piece to that as well, as you can say, hey, West Virginia needs to make more free throws. Another thing that a lot of fouls being called against you do is it affects your player rotation.
Great point.
So,
which it did Saturday.
Right? It did. Yeah. So now you've got guys sitting on the bench for longer periods of time that wouldn't normally be on the bench if you weren't getting these calls. That also plays into this thing huge, especially when you're playing with 7.5, 8 guys max. So it's certainly, I mean, to the point that Harris Elizovich got in there in the first half on Saturday because you were in a desperation mode with both Andre and Hansberry getting into early foul trouble. So, yeah, it certainly factors into it. So like you said, I don't think I have a good answer as to why it's happening. Do I think there's this mass conspiracy against West Virginia? 1,000% absolutely no, I don't.
I agree with that.
I think that I have seen a little bit more than I want to see officials coming over to Darren and saying after a play's been over, hey, I missed that one. I missed that one. Well, I'm at the point where, okay, let's stop missing them. There's too much on the line here to like, hey, come back. Hey, man, my bad. I missed that one.
Right.
That's going to happen. I get it. But to me, man, like I always say, I don't need to get more calls than I deserve. I just need it to be fair. That's all I want it to be.
What you're seeing too is, and when the season began, and what we know about DeVries is he wants to have a respectful relationship with the officials, right? And but you're seeing him be more animated of late with the officiating. Would you all agree with that?
Yes. Yes. And we're going to get some text questions about this that we'll get into later. And if folks think that he's just sitting by and letting it all happen, he's not. He is constantly sending in clips and to the supervisor of officials and saying like,
explain
this call, explain this kill. Why wasn't this? Why wasn't this? Why wasn't this? And so you just keep your fingers crossed that at some point you get enough communication there that the word does come down and go, hey guys, Javon Small is getting freaking hammered here. If he's getting hammered, call the foul. You hope that kind of pushes that and you start to get that.
Yeah, and if you're not there, you're only seeing part of the sideline too. He's not just walking up and down the sideline impassively, not screaming. I mean, so it's not that. It's not that. Let's tell you that right now. It's not that. But it's just got to be better. It's just got to be better, guys. It's got to be better. That's it. Here, last thing. We said this all the time about the football schedule, Hoppy. West Virginia shouldn't be outliers when it comes to schedule strength. They shouldn't be the only ones playing 2 Power 5s when nobody else is. I'm saying the same thing about these numbers. That's why I give you those numbers. West Virginia shouldn't be involved in multiple games where the numbers are outliers for its opponent. We shouldn't come in and go, that's the highest free throw attempt rate for Colorado. Oh, highest for TCU. Oh, highest for Baylor. It shouldn't be every game. It's an outlier for the opponent. That's where I start to go, what are you doing out here? What's happening? You shouldn't be involved in outlier games more often than you're not. And over the last 7, there's been a lot of outlier games that aren't going in West Virginia's direction. You're due for an outlier game or two back. You are due to be the one where I come in and go, hey, I tell you what, West Virginia's free throw attempt rate's about 23, not one of the lowest in the country. It was 48 today.
You know what's making the outliers more painful? They're making the shots. They could be getting that many more shots, but if they're coming in shooting like at the end of the game they're at 70, you'd go like, didn't hurt as bad. It wouldn't stand out as much. These freaking guys are going out there.
81%.
81%.
Over 7 games, your opponent's making 81%.
Which is an astounding number, which would be like second in the nation, I would think. I think someone's out there shooting 83, but that's probably 81% would get you top 5.
And they tried 84% Saturday.
Yeah, you're right, Tony. You're on that. Wisconsin's 84%. 81% would be number 2 in the country.
Yeah.
And you've had 7 teams do it on average over the last 7 games.
Well, I'd say this. Since Brad has heated everything up, we got to cool everything down. You know how you cool things down?
How?
You go to big water. And if you're a business owner, what are you doing trucking in all these big cases, a bunch of plastic water bottles and jamming them all over the refrigerator in your break room? You don't need that. The folks at Comax Business Systems have got an absolutely idyllic, Hoppy, I said an idyllic water plan for businesses here in the state of West Virginia and beyond. These brand new water cooler systems are just fantastic. They got one of those bad boys in there called the I-12. This is the one that kind of like if Steve Jobs was still around, like he would have designed this because it's cutting-edge technology with sleek design, and this bad boy produces 44 pounds of ice plus a bunch of other storage, hot water, cold water. They've got you hydrated. Check it out. ComaxWV.com. That is ComaxWV.com. Well, like you were up to your word there. You said you were going to bum us out. You bummed us out.
Just wanted to give you numbers.
Good job there.
Yeah.
Good job there. Let's do a little bit of this. Time for Textual Healing, my friends. Textual Healing is brought to us by episode800.com. That happens to be the website where you can take a look at everything to do with Three Guys Before the Game. Great reconnaissance on all the popcorn that went out for Valentine's Day, Mountaineer Roasting Coffee, all of our apparel stuff. Hoppy's wearing something today. Brad's wearing something. I got something on. We're all 3 guys out. New logo, old logo. Yeah. Toying around with a new item as well. Got
What's that? What?
got a test brought to my house yesterday.
Huh?
What now?
Yeah. Dave had
Homeless Dave
had something sent over to the house for us to take a look at. A drink device.
First I've heard of it.
Yeah, drink device. We'll scan that and take a look.
Don't get all up in Tudor stuff,
Well, you're out of focus. We have to bring it back a little bit.
Put it right in front of your face.
Put it right in front of your face. There you go. Start your
Want me
day.
to keep it there?
Yeah.
Should keep it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how strong your shoulders are. Let's see if you can hold it up for the next 22 minutes. How about that?
Hey, by the way, we didn't do Cincinnati preview.
Oh, geez, what am I doing?
Let's do Textual Healing, then we'll come back to Cincinnati.
Oh, that's kind of neat. Yeah.
Mix it up.
That's kind of neat. All right, so let's do that.
See, we're game planning different.
A lot of this, I'm going to just run through these really super quick, and some of them I'm not even going to use because I don't think there's anything more we can say about free throw shooting. But a lot of people, to their point, put a bunch of stuff in there. Have you had a stretch of games before with this poor of officiating, so inconsistent our guys get mugged, one end literally don't touch them on the other, it's a whistle. How about this one? Russell, who's in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend Cassie gave me one of the best Valentine's Day presents I could ask for, tickets to West Virginia Baylor. Went well with the Valentine's Day popcorn that I got her. The first thing I told her was, I love you and thank you for an amazing gift. Followed up by the second thing I told her, which was, you know what this means, right? We're going to make our mission to finally meet the three guys. Game day comes, mission success. Make our way to Tony and Brad, since it was an away game. Say our hellos, ask if we can get our picture made. Brad taps a man facing away from us on the shoulder, thinking he was going to ask the fine gentleman to take our picture. Lo and behold, that man turned out to be none other than Hoppy himself. How about that?
That's a good picture, too. Look at it.
Yeah, we got our picture made there. Just great people. I know this is a long text, but we want to thank you guys for taking time to meet us. Great conversation. Truly was the highlight of our weekend. And got some popcorn, too. He bought the popcorn. Right,
nice.
there it is. There it is.
There it is. Thank
The
you.
Valentine's.
Do you know,
Real quick, Russell and Cassie there, thank you for your service, too, both in the Air Force.
Yes.
And they're stationed in Wichita Falls.
Yeah, and I was talking to Russell. He's from Charlestown.
Yeah, he is. That's right.
Yeah, my neck of the woods.
Yeah. Tremendous.
So had a nice visit.
Texter asked this question. If we end up missing the tournament, can we still call it a successful year?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
unequivocally.
I concur.
Yeah, and here's why I say that. And I know it's a zero-sum business. It's a win games business. I get it. Given your injury, most notably to Tucker, never mind the other ones that have followed, it changed how this team would look significantly. And in year one, or if you want to use Hoppy's year zero, to be where you are, where you're solidly in the field with 2 weeks to go in this season, is remarkable from the rebuild that this team had to do. So I think the reason I say success is because you feel like, Hoppy, the future is extremely bright. You've seen enough out of this group to know you are trending absolutely in the right direction. Agree?
Agreed. Completely.
Steve in Tennessee, paraphrasing his text, he wants Darren to go absolutely crazy, maybe get kicked out of a game, maybe a fine. Let this league know and the referees we're not going to take it anymore.
Not his style. I mean, he's not going to get kicked out.
No, I think he's doing it more behind the scenes, saying like, yo, we'll see how that plays out. Next texter, I don't have a name, but I upset him. He wrote a really lengthy text and several texts. And I wrote back. I didn't mean to be mean, but I said, this is 639 words. And
You must have really made him mad.
so I said 639 words. I said, I put it into Chat GPT, and I asked Chat GPT to give me 5 bullet points on what you've written.
Yeah.
And he came back to me and said, having a bad day? I really wasn't trying to be like, I was just saying like, dude, I can't read. So, like 500 words essay in college, like that's a big thing. Like 639 words.
Term paper.
Just like, so anyway, ChatGPT broke his very salient points down. And and here it is, man. Season free throw disparity. West Virginia has attempted 381. Opponents have taken 461. In Power 5 and Big 12 play, the disparity even stronger. West Virginia's 275 and 360 for Power 5 teams. In Big 12 games, it's 191 to 258. How about this one? The first 7 Big 12 games, the minimal difference was just 1.4 shots more per game. Last 7, it's ballooned to 8 per game. Last 4 games, it's even worse. The gap grew to 8.6 per game. Excluding Utah's second half, it goes to 11.5 more per game. Factors at play. Some argue officials may have an expectancy bias against West Virginia's physical style, but fatigue and a short, undersized bench also contribute to the late-game struggles. Texter says, and by the to that person who wrote that, I didn't mean to be like rude. I'm just saying like I got to have it shorter. Tony, pick up the phone. It's time to call your people. Baseball just swept a doubleheader on Saturday in Florida. They're 3-0. What a start for Steve Savins. I go to the Big 12 website, check the baseball schedule, and all of the game times are listed in Central Time.
Oh.
He writes, Jan Dills is an attorney. Can't they do something about this? I think she might file a motion to the court. I think, yeah.
Well, we're loading Jan Dills up today with work.
Yeah,
She's
really.
very big in Texas. You know those veterans?
Yeah. Big in Texas?
One of the biggest areas in Texas where she, yeah.
Well, we
got
could use
great,
some
a lot of
help. We could use
people
some-
in Texas.
TCU, Baylor. We'll use some help.
Yeah. Texter, I know that you can dissect every game and find a play or two here or there if we would have could have won games, but we also have had some extraordinary statistical anomalies when it comes to free throw shooting. And they give us the same numbers that we just kind of gave you.
Hey, can I throw out something
Well, sure. We've never said never, Hoppy.
for consideration? And that is, talk to me about JP. He's a freshman, and clearly he's got a shot. Clearly he needs to take shots. But Brad, you were a shooter, and the poor guy just is not hitting. I mean, 1 of 12 or whatever it was on Saturday, and and had some open looks.
Yep, that's it.
So give me the breakdown on JP.
Well, first of all, far be it from me to try and critique JP as a shooter compared to me. Certainly a much more talented shooter than I was.
Oh, there's no question. he's a
Except for the
talented
one
guy.
game when I hit the school record for 3-pointers. I was that night I was probably better than about anybody. It's just simply confidence, right? He's just got to see a few go down. He is a really talented high-end shooter and struggled the other day. I mean, it's as simple as that. He's got a great shot. Mechanically, it's very good. He's going to make a bunch of shots in a Mountaineer uniform, and he just simply did not make a ton the other night. That's it. Get some confidence back, and he's a streaky hot shooter. He'll hit you 3 or 4 in a row at some point. And Tony, that's why I thought he hit that 3 in the and one, and I thought, okay, maybe that unlocks you and gets you going, and it wasn't his night.
Here's the deal, man, and I learned this from John Beeline years and years ago. We were playing that game that everyone remembers down in Charleston against Florida, and I forget what cat they had. Gators had a freshman, and they had just played some games up in Madison Square Garden, and this freshman kid.
Was it Teddy Dupay?
No,
at the
it
time?
wasn't Teddy Dupay. It was a different dude, and he was going off.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to John, I went like, gosh, have you seen this kid? I mean, how are you going to deal with this kid? And he said, you know, man, freshmen are freshmen. And he said, I don't care how good they are. Sometimes they freshmen. And I'll give you a classic example, right? You have a guy on that other team Saturday who's going to be a multimillionaire this time next year. His name is VJ Edgecombe. He, like Jonathan Powell, took 12 shots on Saturday. The multimillionaire went 3 for 12, 0 for 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's a freshman, right? And so the consistency, your standard deviation of performance improves the older that you get. You can rely more on your sophomores than your freshmen, your juniors than your sophomores, your seniors than why? Because they've been around. And so you shouldn't be totally taken aback by it. That's unfortunately just those growing pains. That's the reality. Now, one other thing about Jonathan Powell. You guys remember like 100 years ago on this show, even though we've only been doing it for 8, we busted down those numbers. When a freshman scores on average over 4 points per game, they go on and they have these really good careers. He's in that plus category. He's like 8 points per game. So he's going to be very good. The numbers, that's what they're indicating. And so the good news is, yeah, he's coming, but you are going to have some games where he'll be hot in some games where, it's not going to happen. So it doesn't totally make me go, what's going on?
No, that's just part of the ups and downs of a freshman season. I give him credit for this. He was your leading rebounder on Saturday. He got in there and battled those dudes, had 9 rebounds on Saturday, so found a way to do some other things.
Yeah.
Boy, when you are as close to it as you guys are, and I had great seats thanks to Tony Caridi on Saturday, my wife and I, is that you see the physical, like, why don't they get the rebound? I mean, the physicality.
It's unbelievable,
involved
isn't it?
in rebounding. I mean, just guys fighting, battling. I mean, it's a chore. You get a rebound in some of those environments, that's a big deal. You earned it.
How about getting through screens? Is it physical at the point of contact on screens? Yeah.
It's like, well, you have to break a tackle, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for example, I talk about experience, like Nordchad Omir, 6'7", 240 pounds. Played 2 years at Arkansas State, played 2 years at Miami, has scored over 2,000 points. He's the current active Division I rebound leader in college basketball.
Double-double machine.
And he just goes out there. He goes 6 of 11, scores 17, gets 10 rebounds, and has 4 steals.
Yeah, he was good.
How do you –
good
and he does that, and he's been doing that's like his 100th-plus game.
Yeah.
It's just a world of difference, man. It's a world of difference. 3 Guys Before the Game is brought to us by the superfine folks at Go-Mart. Just remember, I try to push you guys toward deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hoppy, I'm trying to help people with deals.
Yeah.
Gave you that Tudor's deal where you buy one and get the other one for $1. I don't know why you wouldn't want 20 cents off a gallon of gas, all for downloading an app. Go to gomart.com, go to wherever you get your apps, download the Go-Mart app, you play Tiki Solitaire. All you got to do is play Tiki Solitaire, one game on that app, Brad, and you get 20 cents off a gallon.
Easy. Do it.
Right? Check it out at Go-Mart. By the way, our beer continues to be the beer of the month. There,
I was just going to ask you.
Oh, yeah, it's still there. Connection 304.
What's the date? 17? So you got, 11 days?
11
Less than 2
days.
weeks? Not that it's going away. It's just the featured beer of the month this month.
Correct. Check it out at Go-Mart. All right, more officiating stuff. I think we already did. Can you tell me when the gold and blue game? Oh, hi guys. Can you tell me what the gold and blue game is like? I've got a 4-year-old nephew who I'm trying to decide if it would be a fun experience for that age, or is it better for older kids who have a little bit more of an understanding of what happens in a football game?
Good question.
4-year-old's not going to get it.
Yeah. Come on up to the gold and blue game because they're not going to be playing real football. Come on up.
Yeah, it'll be a bunch of different. I would say the 4-year-old's probably going to, his favorite thing is probably going to be what he gets at the concession stand, but there's going to be enough hoopla, hollering, and fun and music and stuff that he'll probably be entertained.
Video board. He should be visually stimulated, right, with all the stuff going on. Bring him up. Be a fun day.
Maybe. Or the 4-year-old will be lining up cups on the bleachers.
Could be.
Also fun. Because you're probably not doing that in your living room. So also fun.
Yeah. Hello, 2 or 3 guys. We know how tough Big 12 is, but the rest of the nation took notice when 5 Big 12 schools were projected top 16 released by the NCAA this week. And we've defeated 3 of those 5. Plus, we have a chance to knock off another one this Saturday. We will see Tony and Brad there in Lubbock. By the way, how do you rate my plate at our Valentine's dinner at Double Cut in Round Rock? Features, look at this thing, man. This is unbelievable. A lobster tail, a skewer with steak, and a humongous tiger shrimp. In the small bowl was Moroccan couscous. Outstanding. There's Joe Mock, Leander, Texas. So look at that plate, dude.
That dinner came with a piece of equipment too.
There, he went over top, gave you a drone shot of the meal. I like that.
And then after he got done eating that, they had to bring that back to the operating room at Baylor.
That's the is that the couscous right there we're looking down on?
The little yellow thing.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, it's a tight grain. Very tight grain.
By the way, credit to game didn't go like we wanted, but our pregame meal at the hotel was about as good. And I haven't traveled as much as you in the last 10 years. That's about as good a pregame meal as I think you're going to get.
Oh, really?
Agree?
Yeah, here's what happened.
Steak was elite.
Here's what happened. So we're staying at this hotel, and it's a new one, and the folks, they have a steak restaurant in the hotel, and people around Waco, including like people, that know really good stuff, they go like, that place is extraordinary. Here's what I think happened. So it's Valentine's night. their restaurant's packed out. I think we were getting the same steak that they were serving in their restaurant, right? They weren't going to make it. And I think we got that. And some people may have overate.
Don't know who that would be.
Chef filet, New York strip.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you have?
If it was a filet.
Filet.
It was just
Mashed potatoes were
it
excellent.
was extraordinary. Really good.
You guys right downtown? You guys downtown?
We were across the interstate, Hoppy. And
We on the other side?
Yeah, we had to walk across.
Okay.
That turned into an
35?
entire adventure. We had great coffee. We hit Dichotomy in Waco, which is my favorite.
Very good.
And then we walked down to Magnolia, got another cup. Just wanted to see if Chip and Joanna were in.
We did not see Chip and Joanna.
No.
But we had a nice
By
walk.
the way, they have a
Even though it was longer
research
than we
that.
thought it was going to be, Hop, but we had a nice walk.
They had a Q&A and some information I looked up about Chip and Joanna. Joanna. And it says, and the question, will we see Chip and Joanna? And the answer was, you might, but please respect their privacy.
Chip's been to Morgantown.
He's been to Morgantown. I came from
visited.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. We had a good conversation with the dude that's in charge of their marketing for Magnolia, who came to Waco after serving for over a decade in charge of merchandising at Nike. We struck up a conversation with him, said, and we're very nice.
Very nice gentleman, UCF grad.
Yeah, Ken. Used to be in the District of Columbia.
Yeah, and in Oregon for a little bit.
Tony, you should have that in your rider.
What's
Will I
that?
see Tony? Will I see Tony? You might, but please respect his privacy.
I'm good.
Right.
This guy went to the West Liberty Fairmont State game. He said that he's a Hilltopper fan. Hilltoppers come back double-digit down at halftime. A couple of Fairmont fans are giving us a hard time the whole night. He over there at Joe Retton Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Says it was extremely satisfying to turn around on the way out, and I let out an emphatic, "Thanks for having us." He said the looks on their faces, priceless.
Gave an MEC, thanks for having us.
Yeah, sure. Commissioner.
It's applicable in a lot of places.
Commissioner Reed Amos. All right, Cincinnati, here comes the rematch. They've won 3 of 4 since West Virginia beat them.
Yes, that's where I was starting. And they won 3 in a row after that West Virginia loss prior to losing to Iowa State on Saturday. Here's what jumped to me. Averaged 87 points per game in those 3 wins.
Yikes.
I was, again, hoping they might lay down after the West Virginia game. A lot of noise around that program. They did not, Hop. They have popped back and been playing great basketball. They had 11 threes against Utah, 10 against BYU in 2 of those 3 games right after West Virginia.
They ran BYU off of the floor. They won by 20, didn't they?
They were filling it up. And that was
Will
coming
no
from
one
scoring.
in this league lay down?
Right, just
Will
somebody.
no one in this league lay down
No.
for somebody?
They won't. And that's what, can an upcoming West Virginia player just get out of the way? Just give us one here, for God's sakes. Jizzle James, one of the all-time great names, was held to 0 points the first time West Virginia and Cincinnati met. Sincere, in particular, did just a great job. Totally took Jizzle James out of his game. He's been absolutely on fire. 21 per game during their 3-game winning streak, and then he put up 25 against Iowa State in their last. So Jizzle James will be somebody to keep an eye on when they roll in. Couple keys against them. You're going to want to limit them in transition points. West Virginia held them to a season-low 5 points in transition in the first meeting. The Bearcats are 3-6 when they get single-digit transition points, but 2 of those wins came in the last 3 games, as evidenced by the 3-point shooting. So that's how they overcame that. But if West Virginia can slow them down again, that would be really helpful. Here's another team, guys, that comes in and doesn't get to the line very much.
Don't say
so
that.
I would think you won't see Cincinnati get more than about a free throw or 2 because they don't get to the line. They're a bottom 15 team nationally and a bottom 30 team when it comes to free throw percentage. So they don't get there and they don't make them. And no, I did not cut that from the TCU preview or the Utah preview or anybody else's preview. It's another team. They only shot 12 in the first meeting, which was a good sign. But how about this? You ready for this? West Virginia has been called for more fouls than its opponent in every single Big 12 road game this season. West Virginia has more fouls called on it than its opponent in every single road game. Home games, West Virginia has only been called for fouls more than its opponents in 4 of the 7 games. So 100% of the time on the road, only 57% of the time at home. In Cincinnati's 4 of 7 Big 12 road games, they've committed more fouls than their opponent. So maybe this is a game.
You're doing a little foreshadowing.
Maybe this is a game that flips and West Virginia gets a few more points at the line. And the reason I'm bringing that up is not just to piggyback on our previous conversation, but West Virginia's going to have to find some points. You start to dig in those numbers of that Cincinnati game. We walked out of there giddy, high five, and you went on the road. We got home in like 13 minutes. It was a great trip. Like we were all good. You start to look at those numbers, and it was like, the game's a little bit closer there than you wanted it to be. Sunday, Joe Yesufu was outstanding, got you through that game, but that was a close game. You were really good from 3. Right? And your defense was very good. Your plan was great. You took away their lobs. But this is not just a gimme because you won the first game. West Virginia held Cincinnati to its second lowest field goal percentage of the season that day, just 31.5%. West Virginia forced Cincinnati into its second most turnovers in Big 12 play. West Virginia had 12 steals in that game. Cincinnati's 0-5 in Big 12 play if they have 12 or more turnovers. So that's the number you're watching, which is a good sign. That's what West Virginia likes to do. West Virginia blocked 7 shots in that game. And a lot of that came from what they wanted to do, Hoppy. They had to eliminate the lob. Cincinnati wants to get in there, come set a screen or barely screen it or ghost screen it and turn and head to the rim, and they lob it up. West Virginia was prepared for it, talked about it in practice and shoot around, and eliminated that from the game, made Cincinnati shoot from the outside, and they couldn't make threes. They've shown they've been able to do that the last couple of games, so we'll have to see that. So we'll see. This will be a challenge. This will be an important game for West Virginia. Has to get it if it wants to be in the NCAA tournament. I think this is one of those. If you're going to be a tournament team, the work's not done if you get this one, but you can continue down that path if you go in and you get this one.
I'm just going to tell you this.
They're going to bring it.
They're going to bring it. They're going to bring it times 50. They're going to bring it. Wes Miller, their coach, you just watch him coaching. He's pissed off, right? Don't you just see it in his face? Like he is.
Well, he should. There was a lot of heat. I mean, he was getting a lot of heat following that West Virginia game. They were in a bad stretch.
He is going to come in here, I'm just promising you, like a caged animal. It is going to be on for those guys. He will have them into a frenzy. You better bring it.
Now, that's the same thing we said going into their place, and West Virginia came out and said, oh, is that right? We're pissed off too. Watch this.
Yeah.
So I think the key here mentality-wise, Hop, you've had 2 really tough losses where you went right down to one possession where they could have been wins, and they both went against you. So it's incumbent upon this team, and I think you'll get this, but this West Virginia team, instead of being dejected by that, has to say, okay, listen, we're playing pretty well right now. I know the record doesn't indicate that the last couple of games. We are playing well, and we are executing, and we are right there. Now we get them at home. Go out and bury these guys. Well, so mentality is going to be important.
Yeah. Look, if this team had packed it in, they would have got whacked at Baylor, okay? But they didn't.
Well, they definitely have packed it in.
And what DeVries said after the game was he was satisfied with the effort, with how they played. So, can you just make a few more shots, get some equality in the free throws, and then see if you can win? You got 2 out of the next 3 are at home. That Texas Tech road trip's going to be very, very tough. You guys should leave probably 3 days ahead of time to get out there. But that's going to be tough. But can you win 2 out of 3 and kind of get things back on track and secure your footing for the NCAA tournament? Ken Palm still has you at 47.
You didn't move. That's what I'm saying about that Baylor game. You barely lost in your seeding projection, and you did not move in Ken Palm. That tells you how well you played in that game. Your numbers actually got better and held your line right there.
Yeah.
Hey, are you getting near the end?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, and I need to give a shout out to the West Virginia women's team for, and by the way, they're playing right now, or will be playing
21 minutes from now. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening live, got a President's Day game, but they had senior day, beat Cincinnati. JJ Quinterly, 11 of 22, 29 points, moved into number 5.
Wow.
All-time leading scorers, West Virginia women. So congratulations to her and the seniors, and they're having this incredible year, ranked in the top 20 and playing K-State this afternoon.
Yeah.
And Mark got a milestone win this weekend, right? Mark Kellogg, was that 200? Is that what it was?
Outstanding. And K-State is one of 3 teams tied for first in the Big 12. I believe they're playing this game today without Ayoka Lee, who's scheduled to be back, I think, later this week. So you got a chance here. And you take your best swing at them. The rare 2 p.m. President's Day start at the Coliseum. And the neat thing is there's a very strong chance that by the time you're listening to this, you already know what the result of the game is. So we'll leave it there. And, again, Mountaineer baseball, how about that? 3-0 start for the second time in 13 years.
Great start for Steve Saban's. That mark historic thing was back-to-back 20-win seasons. First time in WVU women's basketball history that a coach has won back-to-back 20s in his first 2 years.
How about that?
Yeah.
Very good.
Really?
Yeah, friend of the program, Mark Kellogg. Very good.
So when are we doing the
Thursday.
No, I meant the get together for the baseball team.
Well, you're 19 states away. How do we know?
We'll figure it out. We'll get there with Coach Saban's. Everything's going to be fine. We're gonna get
got
that
to do the
done.
volleyball thing too. I mean, we got to
branch out there. We're busy. Spring schedule is filling up. We're back on Thursday to recap Cincinnati, preview our one and only contest against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech in Lubbock on Saturday.
That'll be a tough one.
Yeah, they're the real deal, man. They are the real deal. All right, we're out. Hoppy, thank you very much. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
My
pleasure.
From the Kirchhoff Studios. 3 Guys Before the Game brought to us by Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. They won't take no for an answer. By Comax Business System, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Immediately start reaping benefits. Food, fuel, and a whole bunch of stuff. Go to gomart.com for details. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. The 3 Guys way with a Tudor's biscuit. Spreads on Stats. Presented by Conley CPA Group. Providing value beyond numbers. That'll do it. Stay well. We're back Thursday. 3 Guys Before the Game. Special shout out to our producer, the always consistent. You know, if you put Jake on the foul line, all he'd do is just make shots.
Very consistent.
Right?
Just lines up, gets it done.
98% free throw shooter. Just
lines
keeps
up,
knocking.
executes.
Exactly. All right. Be good. See y'all. We're out.